Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I have another Halloween tutorial and this one is much easier than the last one. This is a very easy skull that it's super easy to recreate and really quick. So the first step, I am using a nude pencil, a nude eyeliner, just to draw out the hollows of the face. And this is going to serve me as a guide so that I know where to apply the white paint and where to apply the shadows. So I'm just doing the contours of my cheeks. I'm carving out the upside down triangle on my nose, and then I'm just gonna do a rim around my eyes, and that's just gonna help me keep the white away from those areas because those are the areas that I want to look like skullish and hollow and with fading. So now using this Marron cream stick in the color white, I'm going to be using a flat concealer brush, and I'm just going to paint this all over my face on the outside of the nude lines. And when you get close to the lines, you want to make sure that you are using just the very tip of the brush and gliding it very carefully to make sure that you get a sharp, nice edge. With this cream, it's a really good cream, but you want to make sure that you're using small amounts at a time and blending it out completely before you apply more, just because when you apply too much, it can get clumpy on the skin and start creasing. So just remember, a thin layer, and if you feel like it's too sheer, you can just layer it on top of that. Yeah, so I'm just painting everything that's outside of the nude lines in white. And for my forehead, I'm just feathering it up because I am going to be applying brown near my hairline. So when I'm done with my chin, I'm going to take that same concealer brush on its edge and kind of just flick up the color to start creating that fading line near the hollows of my cheeks. So with a small detail brush, this is like a pencil brush that I use to smoke out the lower lash line normally, I'm going to start applying brown shadows on the outsides of the white hollows, and I'm going to start fading it in. So for this look, I'm using the Lorac Pro palette, and I am alternating between the colors Taupe, Espresso, and Sattle. Those are three different tones of browns. So I'm trying to stick with the darker colors, which are Espresso and Sattle, towards the outside, and on the inside with that blending brush, I am buffing out Taupe, which is like a transition type of color. Here I'm concentrating the darkest color, which is Espresso, all the way in the back, and that's just gonna create a lot of depth. And again, I'm just adding the darker color. I'm just going back and forth with my brushes and kind of just adding the colors as I go and blending it out. And if it blends out too much, adding some more. You can kind of experiment and see what works for you. Obviously, all of the blending takes away some of the white, so I am just redefining that shape. You want to make sure that your white line has like a curve to it. That's what's going to make it appear like a contour. And I'm just blending out the edges, and here I'm going to add a dark brown line and then blend it out a little bit. It's just going to give some dimension to the look. I like to use my fingers to buff things out sometimes because sometimes it's better than using a brush when you're dealing with cream products. And now I'm going to be doing the same thing around my nose, just kind of outlining, going over where the nude liner was and just shading it in for a little depth. And here I went a little bit crazy with the blending brush. It basically disappeared my entire brown situation, but I go back in a little bit and intensify that. For this look, you can really do whatever you want. I intentionally am skipping eyeshadow and lashes and any kind of makeup just to make it easier. This is meant to be like an easy, quick Halloween tutorial, like literally something so last minute. So on my forehead, I'm applying the same shadows that I'm applying in the hollows of my cheeks, which are Espresso and Sattle from the Lorac Pro palette. Any brown shadows work really. Just make sure that you have at least 2 or 3 shades so that you can kind of blend them together and create those shadows. All right, so I'm gonna just fill in my eyebrows like I normally would. This is totally optional. I think that in J-Lo's, she didn't have her eyebrows filled in. I think they were just kind of painted over. But I chose to fill in my brows because I'm not going to be doing eyeshadow or lashes. So I didn't want to look too crazy. All right, so with that same flat concealer brush, I'm just going to give my eyebrows a nice little shape and then just buff it out. Just to make sure that everything in the area stays white and there's like no harsh divisions between where there's skin and where the white paint ends. So yeah, I said no eyeshadow, but I did add a little bit of Fuego highlighter to my inner corner just to brighten up the eye a little bit. For lipstick, I'm using Lady Balls by Too Faced. And then I didn't get a really good clip of it, but over the top of that, I used Sauvage from the DesixKaty collection. I couldn't get a really good clip of it, but I literally used Sauvage all over the lip, and then I blended it in together, which is how the lip color got so dark. So now with those same brown shadows, I just created a shadow in the inner corner of my eyes just to make that hollowness, and I applied a couple of coats of mascara on my natural lashes. You can use lashes, but if you know how to apply lashes, that's totally fine. I just wanted to make it as beginner friendly as possible. So now with a flat foundation brush, I'm just going to take that same cream white makeup and just draw a line down my chest, and then 6 lines extending like kind of like your rib cage. And I just like to start with a lot of pressure on the brush, and then as you're getting to the end, kind of feather it out so it kind of gets thinner towards the end and it looks a little more real. And then I just went back in with that flat concealer brush and some more white cream to kind of clean up the edges, make sure everything looks clean, because when you're working with a blending brush, it can wipe away some of the details. So I'm just going over all the little details, and this is the finished look. It's very simple, very easy, the perfect costume if it's last minute, and you can just pair it with a black dress and you are good to go. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and until next time, bye.